Hey everyone, welcome to this stream. So, what I'm gonna be doing is um gonna finish the rest of the final scenarios. I have three more to get, um, which are number 5 through 7, and I think that'll be it because I can't get the music test working at all. So I'm not sure if it's like was just a rumor or I'm just doing it incorrectly, but I can't find anything about it. So or like any confirmation that's in this version. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going. So let's see. I need to fall asleep, and then okay. So I need to get to the light sequence, which is essentially don't follow kid. So I'm gonna get to the text, and then I'm gonna pretty much read from there. I'm hoping these last three seem kind of long, especially number 6, but we'll see. Okay, so it should be here. Happen to see it. Okay, yeah. So a soft glimmer of light. At least I thought that was what I saw. A gentle glow coming from a decorative window close to the ceiling. But as much as I strained my eyes to try and catch it again, I couldn't. Oi, Serge, you better not be sleeping on the job. We'll leave you behind for the guards to find. Ken and McGill were already far down the passageway. How long had I been standing there? I paid her no mind and looked at the window again. Okay. There was a light. It was faint, vague, like a shrouded star. No, this is no light. It was visible in the darkness, but that was more of a side effect. It was crying out to me through the shadows of night, crying out to be seen, to be noticed. There, draped in a set of ancient robes, floated the figure of a young girl. You've come, at long last. It was a tremulous voice filled with sorrow. I'm still not sure if I really heard it or if it's somehow echoing in my mind, but one thing was certain. Wasn't a dream, nor was it an illusion. There was no doubt about what I heard next. It was Kid and McGill making apprehensive noises as they appeared at my side. Ooh, what the heck was that? It took a few moments, but Kid had soon just about regained her composure. Thaumatur- Thaumaturgy, diablerie, necromancy? With enough experience in these practices, eventually one can see the dead. Well, and while it's not exactly something to be proud of, having taken on some of those very odd jobs indeed, we'd witness things that no ordinary person would ever see. And more than a few, sorry, more than a few that no one should ever see, courtesy of McGill's dark arts. Even so, for a moment, the three of us were stunned. If I had to say why, perhaps it's because the seemingly bottomless sorrow of the girl's sigh, the sense of a torment even, struck a chord with all of us. Nothing will come of lingering here. Something told me that McGill was right. We should leave. It wasn't until later that I realized the ashen tone his face had taken on wasn't just because of the moonlight. Okay, so I did the go to the ballroom. Okay, so it's okay. If that's a situation, and then you attack. Okay, cool, 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 cool. We continue onward. It should be here. I'm gonna save just in case. Three. Was the noise I expected to make the doors to make? Okay. Instead, they swung open silently as if completely weightless. Okay, so I did that. Use your both keys and then go to links. Okay. We found ourselves in a huge chamber, 2 stories high. It was like a cathedral, right down to the enormous pipe organ built into the back wall. The flickering light of countless candles, seemingly engaged in a losing battle with the shadows of their own flames created, gave the room an almost tenuous quality, as if they were only half there. It looks like a church of some kind, but there's something strange about it. It's the shape. Most, most churches are cross-shaped. Are they? Are they? Hmm. It wasn't like McGill to make a comment like that, unprompted. Something about the place was bothering him, and not in the same way that it was bothering Kid and me. The layout of this chamber is unusual indeed, and deliberately so, as if whoever built it intended to avoid any suggestion that they might be honoring the gods, or perhaps they were honoring other gods. McGill pondered away to himself like this as he began to examine the room around him. If McGill had noticed something, it was something worth investigating. I walked over to the pipe organ that had caught my attention earlier. How odd. There was an extra key on the keyboard. I did a double take, unsure that my eyes weren't deceiving me, but sure enough, there was one black key too many. Neither Kid nor McGill had taken the time to note this little detail yet, but my trained eye picked it up right away. Oh yeah, you're a musician. Let's see. Press both keys. Okay. Tried pressing the 2 white keys on either side of the extra key. Clunk. The moment I pressed the keys, the section of the floor next to the organ sank into the ground. Okay. Okay. A set of stairs led down into the darkness. Hey, kid. Yeah, we noticed. Kid and McGill were already standing right beside me. The space under the hall was vast as well. McGill conjured up a small light. It wasn't quite bright enough for us to see all the way to the edges, but it was enough to show us that the room beneath was about the same size as the chamber above, and lined with the same columns. In fact, it seemed a lot like this might have been the floor level of an even more vast original chamber. The ceiling, that is to say, the floor of the hall above, appeared to have been built much more recently than the rest of the room. It was as if someone had to rush to put a lid on something that had happened here. Something they didn't want others to find. Over there. Or over there. McGill was pointing at something. It was some kind of hazy cloud. No, that wasn't quite it. What I thought was a cloud was oh, that was going too fast. Is that one of them magical... Is that one of them magic circle thingamajigs? Kid growled suspiciously. Does it look like it's been used for yonks? What you reckon, Mag? It is difficult to know for certain. It would seem so, but it would have it would take some time to investigate enough to know for sure. It certainly seems to be ancient. Well, it ain't going nowhere. I guess we can come back and have a proper look later. We got the rest of the manor to explore yet. McGill grunted in agreement, but seemed a little disappointed to have to leave his find behind. Nonetheless, he seemed as keen as the rest of us to avoid getting stuck down here for too long. We returned to the main hall upstairs and exited back to the corridor. Okay. Now we go to Lynx's chambers. To the right, and then we continue onward. What's up, Mag? Asked Kid. He'd been standing at the door, a perplexed look on his face for some time. This is no ordinary lock, but neither is it magical. Strange indeed. Sounds like we're stuck then. Let's go somewhere else. We left the door alone. Wait, what? Corridor short shall be. No, no, we retraced our steps. Eventually, we came across an ordinary door to the left side. What? Did I make a wrong turn? No, that should have been... That should have been chamber. Okay, I guess return to Cathedral, I guess? Or try to? What? Did I mess up? Wait, suddenly the darkness felt opaque, something like a thick haze floated in the air in front of us. And then it took form, like someone blowing smoke into a person-shaped bottle. It was robed in its ragged shroud, and its sunken eyes glinted menacingly. It was a burning hatred that lingers even after death given form, a being by hatred for all living things. Ghost! Oh yeah, that's us out. A ghost? That's us out? What? That is us out? What? Kid bit her lip. There wasn't anything she or I could do to deal with an enemy that had no physical body. Wait. Is this a random encounter? Nope, okay. Casting a spell. I jumped behind McGill. McGill cast a glance, continuing his incantation without missing a beat, and then grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and threw me at the ghost. What? Ah! I emitted a strangled scream of horror that I'd probably never be able to repeat again, and tried to brace myself before I crashed face first into the wall. But the impact I was expecting never came. The core of the ghost, where his face seemed to be, had more substance than the rest of it, and I didn't just slip through it like I thought I would. I oozed through it like I was stuck in some kind of goo. The gods was disgusting, more disgusting than anything I've ever known. It was impossibly cold. It felt like it was draining all the heat right out of my blood, like it was draining my life force. Like it was draining my life force, in fact. I struggled to break free, but I couldn't find no purchase in the gooey ectoplasm. The coldness became more and more intense, and I soon didn't know what cold meant anymore. This couldn't be it for me, I thought. I was consumed by despair. And then there was a surge of heat through the muscle of my neck in the place where McGill had grabbed me just a moment before. At the same time, his incantation echoed in my mind, and my vision was filled with a clear blue light. Surge! Wait, Surge! You still with us, mate? Someone slapping me around the face. Someone who seemed to be enjoying it immensely. Kid, stop it, damn you! I led to my feet, wide awake again in an instant. Mag, did you really have to use me like that? When dealing with foes who attack the mind, it's the simplest to lure them with a bait, then use their intended prey's consciousness as a conduit in order to make an assault from the astral plane. A direct magical attack would have meant a lengthy battle, a far less elegant solution, he replied, without a trace of guilt. Alright, let's keep moving. He'd give the order to continue, seemingly completely oblivious to my brush with death. Okay. Ooh, I've taken a few knocks, but I was alright. A scrape or two wouldn't stop me. But that was another fine bloody mess. What did we even bring you for, Serge? His cold stare pierced through me like a javelin made of ice. Okay, I think that was a random encounter, I think. Not an actual part of the story. Alright. Magic cigar on the ground hadn't gone anywhere while we were away. Nothing about it had changed either. It continued to glow with the same faint light. Well, Mag, anything strike out about this here sigil? Aside from it's probably being bad news? No, the method of its creation is unorthodox. Other than that, I can say no more about it. The answer to Kid's question wasn't very encouraging. It seemed we were going to have to look for clues elsewhere. What the heck? I really don't understand what's going on. Let me see if I can find. I know there's someone who did it all originally. I just need to find their video. Okay, here. Alright, cool. Okay, hold up. Sorry. Okay. Does it go towards the terrace? Okay. Okay, following the corridor. Okay. I don't think that you need to do this. But I think they're doing this to heal up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Tell her the truth. Okay, so then they went to the treasure room. After the treasure room, they went downstairs to Riddle's room to Lynx's quarters, and then Lynx's quarters to back to the ballroom. I'm just gonna try doing the same order. Hope it really works. Right down the quarter, right? Oh my god, no. Now we're talking, Kid Lids. Nice find, Jared. George, what have you... Okay, so you find a gem that increases your relationship with Kid. Okay, so that's one way I guess you do it if you mess up. He went inside. It was locked, but not for long. The guild began weaving out ward of unlocking, but Kid beat him to the punch with a swift twist of her hairpin. It seemed almost suspiciously easy. I got the feeling Kid and McGill thought the same thing. We inch into the room, our senses are on high alert. We hoped to find a treasure vault, a hall of miracles stacking on the ceiling with glittering gold coins and jewels, but the sight that greeted us was very different. Which isn't to say there wasn't a treasure or two. There were jewels and precious metals, the kinds of things nobility and the rich like, but they were arranged in a very particular pattern. It was a massive diorama, a seascape rendered in minute details using priceless treasures. Glittering white crystals formed the crest of waves deep as the valleys, which rose in great columns of the gate. There was a wreath made from jade, glinting with a strange hard light, on top which sat a mermaid of a pearl with an enigmatic smile, silver hair, and scales of mica. And amid the waves was a hand, clutching at a thin air and seemingly about to be swallowed by the water. I couldn't identify what it was made from, but it was stunningly realistic. It was incredible work of art. This single moment of a great storm crystallized and preserved forever. But it wasn't beauty that conveyed to me. It was vividness filled me. Its vividness filled me with an inexplicable dread. Oh my god, what's with all these large words? My vocab's not good. And though the scene was composed of countless precious stones, one stood out starkly from the rest. It was the stone the mermaid held, a jewel shaped like a lotus flower and drenched in the blood-red light. The frozen flame. We all knew it instantly. We found it. Get the ladder out, Serge. I'm gonna grab the loot. Having been lured by the siren's call, Kid could hardly contain her excitement. But something held me back. No, it felt like something was almost pushing me back. Whatever it was keeping me from sharing in Kid's sense of gleeful triumph. But I couldn't let my nerves get the better of me. I put on. I said, fully expecting to recur her wrath. Nah, you can't make it quick, or I can make it. Nah, you can make it quick, or I can make it painful for you. It turned out I wasn't as ready to incur Kid's wrath as I thought. I did my best to ignore my good sense screaming at me as I lowered my pack to the ground. Once Kid made her mind up about something, there was no stopping her after all. I took a piece of a portable ladder from among my things. They were made from the light, sturdy yet pliable stalks of a plant that grows in the east, which made them perfect for bringing them along on little expeditions like this. I tossed out the pieces one by one while Kid and McGill put them together, as they've done many times before. A few minutes later, we had a ladder long enough to cross the sea of jewels. Kid left the finishing touches to me as she dumped her heavy bag and weapons on the floor. She began to breathe in a strange rhythm, concentrating hard on the task ahead. It was a secret technique she learned somewhere that enabled her to reduce her weight to a fraction of its normal level. She practically floated over the mermaid, the latter's barely even bending. Her little trick did nothing to stop the trap that was sprung the moment she set foot on the reef. Yeah! As she reached for the sword in flame, webbed fingers lashed out, her talons digging deep in her arm. Bright red blood spurted from the wound. The mermaid's aquamarine eyes remained impassive, but her scales rustled as she began to move. There was an awful creaking sound as cogs within her pearlescent form began to grind against one another. Quicksilver coursed through the clockwork guardian veins as she whirred in motion, preparing to deal with the intruder who had set foot in her domain. At the same moment, the sea of jewels began moving like a real jewel, as if the moment frozen in time had suddenly thawed. The crushed crystals that formed the crest of waves began to beat Kid mercilessly, as if trying to throw her from the reef. And before we knew it, she lost her footing. As I watched her fall, I caught sight of something even stranger. It was the hand I saw earlier, but it wasn't just a hand now. The whole body had been revealed, the whole corpse, I should say. It looked as if the last person who had set this gruesome mechanism in motion had been trapped there, frozen until such time as another unknowing victim happened along. Kid! He was thrashing helplessly in the raging waves. Was she going to be the next victim of this monstrous machine? They had to do something. We couldn't leave her to die like this. And then the mermaid slipped into the waves, making straight for her. There was a flash of light from McGill's hand, followed by a silver needle, which shot through the air and struck the mindless right in the eye. Or automaton, right in the eye. But the mechanical monstrosity didn't miss a beat. It was another cog in a bigger machine, one whose sole purpose was to attack, to destroy. A cog nonetheless. The true heart of this enormous mechanism lay elsewhere. Its dropped open as if suddenly dislocated. Rows of razor-sharp teeth glinted inside, teeth designed to tear flesh. I couldn't just stand there, so I plunged into the water. It was really salty, real seawater, but how? I plunged in head first, but the waves were far more powerful than I expected, and they battered me mercilessly, keeping me far from Kid. As I struggled to keep my head above water, the corpse I'd seen before came lobbing toward me. I was busy trying to shove it away when I noticed something strange about it. Its eyes were open, and not just that, it was staring right at Kid. This is all the corpse is doing. By sheer instinct, I worked out the trap's secret. I hurriedly grabbed the knife from my belt, sheath and all, and slammed it into the corpse's head. Splat! The skull shattered with a sickening crunch, and the waterlogged flesh slid off like so much rotten vegetable matter. In the next moment, it was as if everything we'd just seen had been a bad dream. The tempestuous sea and the mermaid were motionless once more. All was still and hard as stone. She lay on the ground, coughing and spluttering. Her little dunking hadn't done her much good. She was wrenching violently enough to turn even my stomach. And I saw it. She was clutching the frozen flame in one hand, clutching it so tightly that it would surely leave a mark. I see. The curse slowly overrides the perception of its victims. Not only does this prevent them from acting effectively, but even if they were to keep their wits about them, they have no way of knowing which part of the mechanism to aim for. Clever. McGill was poking curiously at the corpse. The only thing that hadn't now transformed back into a massive jewels. Looking at it made me feel sick. I've had enough of this horrible scene. Well, we got what we came for. I reckon it's time we skedaddled. It seemed to be in no hurry to stick around either, so we left. Alright. Alright. I'll go towards his parents. Okay, let's see. How we continue onward, so I need to go to Riddles. What the? Something was wrong. Did there used to be a terrace here? It said that what we were all thinking. The moonlight picked out with precision the culprit in a corridor whose flagstones stretched off into endlessness in a manner of hard for human mind to comprehend. Maybe we just forgot to Earth's spacious corridor was here. Yeah, that's probably it. The terrace is probably just a little further on. No, I remember that tree. I memorized it. Its outline to guide us on our way back through the forest, stated McGill flatly, torpedoing my admittedly vain intent to cling to reason. We all fell silent, then began to march behind others our way. Act the way we came. What are you up here again? Muttered Kid angrily. Somehow, even though we tried to retrace our steps, we found ourselves back in the same part of the corridor, and of course there was still no sign of terrace. What the hell is going on? This doesn't make any sense, and I don't bloody like it. This is your bloody fault, sir, she yelled. My fault? It's not like I have any idea what's going on, either. If this mess is anyone's fault, it's yours. I never wanted to come to this stupid manor in the first place. You made me. Interestingly, the curse imprisoned its victims in an endless corridor, forcing them to wander until their sanity slips away. The devil is a trap indeed. I see that the walls are also almost imperceptible distorted, or imperceptibly distorted. Or any person could very lose their mind out here. With that, McGill quickly grabbed me and Kid by the wrist and pushed hard on some kind of pressure point. I realized that I was gaining my grip on the situation. Whatever he'd done, it called my mind, and I could see that Kid had regained her composure too. She was looking somewhat sheepishly down at the ground. It would seem that the Lord of the Manor is not keen to let us leave, muttered McGill. He raised her head and looked him dead in the eye. Good, because I ain't going nowhere. Hold up tight, Linksy. We're coming for you. More the bloody saying, spat Kid angrily. Just like before, there was no terrace in sight. Remember back. We took the corridor leading from the left side of the terrace, especially arriving at the intersection with some stairs. Okay, cool. So that works. So go down the stairs. You're right. Let's do it again. Went inside. Oh, I should probably be saving. The room beyond was eerily still. There was a neatly made bed, a sideboard with a row of small wooden animal statues arranged on top, and a single flower in a vase on the table. Like that someone used to live here. Used to. Oh, so Riddle's not here anymore. Okay. Everything was buried in a thick layer of dust that blew here, and there was a breeze coming in through the shattered window. The items arrayed were nothing but mementos of a long since departed occupant. I don't think we'll be finding much in here, kid. Let's go. She didn't hear me. She was too busy peering into a chest big enough for her heart to climb in, or for her to climb inside. I went over to take a look. In it were a set of pale blue robes. They looked like something a nun might wear. Felicia. Felicia? She whispered a name I'd never heard before. I could only repeat it in puzzlement. It didn't seem that she even noticed I was there until I spoke. Never mind. Let's go. She frowned and turned on her heel. Flash outside the room, continue to her left. Huh. Okay. Funny. Yeah. Funny, is it? Then why are you laughing here? Here, maybe I can help you. Interesting. So the fan translation didn't use Felicia, they say Shia. So I wonder if there's a big difference for that. You kid. Stop it. I'm just serious. Whatever, I just thought I'd liven things up a little. Suddenly stopped, and like a light going out, Kid's expression snapped back to his usual resting scowl. The thing you thought was funny is that we ain't seen a living soul since we set foot in this place, right? Even after wandering around for hours. I guess there was that old dear from the storage room, but I don't know if she even counts. Well, I'm right, ain't I? She looked at me expectantly. I nodded silently, too awestruck at her sudden insight to say a word. Now that I've heard it put into words by someone else, the whole thing seems very strange. If you seek answers, perhaps you can ask the Lord of the Manor directly. Miguel thrust his chin forward, gesturing at a dark mahogany door ahead. Its grandeur was practically an announcement that beyond it lay the Lord of the Manor's chambers. "You ready, boys?" said Kid before pushing the door open. Kid opened the door and slipped quietly into the room. This was Lynx's room, or at least it had been. Wait, I'm just being confusing. I need to pace myself. It's all floating back to too fast. What I meant to say was that it was clearly Lynx's room, but that Lynx wasn't there anymore. Well, he was, but he was dead. He and a knight from some foreign land appeared to have killed each other at the same time. I can't believe this. We would have heard rumors if he had upped and died, wouldn't we? Not to a degree, but we heard nothing of the kind. And how is that possible? Lynx was so well known that everything he did got talked about eventually. If he'd been found dead, there's no way we wouldn't have heard about it. How could his body have just laid there all this time without word getting out? No, wake up, Lynx, you skunk. You've got things to answer for. Killing all these people, taking Felicia from me. You can't die without paying for all that. It's not bloody fair. It was clearly in shock. We can't be the first people to have found him, can we? Maybe someone did, but they never made it back alive to tell this tale. I almost got the feeling that she thought she was lightening the mood by saying this. She wasn't. This was serious, deadly serious. An ominous silence descended. Strange, said McGill, finally, even eyeing Lynx's body with a cold, almost scientific interest. Yeah, quite the scene we've happened across, eh? But he never saw that coming. He tried to make light of the situation as if to dispel the miasma of fear that had descended. As always, McGill was less than receptive and continued to coldly assess the situation. His course shows no sign of life whatsoever. No kidding. I had no idea what he was trying to tell us. When a person dies, their mind and their will, what some call their soul, leave the body. Their life essence, however, remains, slowly dissipating as the body breaks down. Well, he doesn't look too fresh to me. You sure it hasn't all leaked out already? Kids seem to want the conversation to be over as quickly as possible as we could get out of there. It is true that not a single shred of vital essence remains, but this is not normal. Far more strangely, I cannot detect signs of any such essence ever have been present in this body. For every last vestige to have vanished is... For once, McGill seemed to be completely at a loss for an explanation. Maybe Lynx and the guy he was fighting were vampires? I offered, desperately calling on my woefully inadequate knowledge of the supernatural. I wasn't too keen to find out. We'd seen enough already. A ghostly girl, a mechanical mermaid, and now the lord of an abandoned manor's corpse drained of every last shred of its vital essence. I was ready to leave as Kid was. But either Miguel hadn't noticed or he'd chosen to put his interest in getting to the bottom of the mystery first. No, you are correct that vampirism would explain the lack of vital essence, but vampires retain their souls. And they do not lie still for want of essence. They set out to prowl the night in search of it, on an endless quest for blood. Alright, that's enough of that. So what you're saying is this. This corpse has no life or soul in it, yeah? Why do we care exactly? He glared at him, demanding answering quickly. For once, she and I were of the same mind. Something strange was going on. It wasn't just this room. The whole manor was steeped in something very wrong indeed. Despite being completely empty as far as we've seen, a presence lurked in every corner. And it was clear, don't ask me how, that this was no ordinary haunting. Listen, you. We've got the frozen flame, and Lynx is dead. We're done, and we're leaving. You got that? Kid's patience finally got the better of her. Very well, assuming we are permitted to leave. He was staring at a large mirror embedded in the wall at the back of the room. Kid, you've come. You finally come. Oh, so this is Felicia. It was a girl again. It wore an expression of motherly sadness. Something tells me that our friend here wishes us to stay. Kid, Mag, we need to get out of here right now. Kid, you don't know her, do you? Felicia? I barely managed to stammer out the question, but it didn't matter. Kid wasn't listening. Her eyes were locked on the girl, an imploring look on her face. Miguel stepped closer to the mirror and began to intone a spell. What is it? What do you want from us? He asked. It hurts. It hurts so much. I need your souls. The mirror shattered with an ear-splitting crash. The girl was gone. A cloud curling scream echoed across the room, but was just as quickly drowned out by an unbearable metallic screeching. That's Link's voice, stammered Kid, looking at her right hand in horror. A blood-red light was seeping from her clench. It was as if the frozen flame was sending out tentacles in an attempt to seize her body. Miguel finished off the spell he started casting when he stepped up to the mirror. What? A bright crimson light filled the room as Link's voice twisted with agony. Did you get him, Mag? He was trying his hardest to contain the sorcery that was flying around the room. It looked like every muscle in his body was straining with effort. No, you fool. This alone won't hold him. Take it and get out of here. He looked back and saw that she collapsed to the floor, white as a sheet, and yet her hand was still clasped tightly around the frozen flame. I threw her over my shoulder and fled into the corridor. Miguel followed hot on our heels. Kid? Kid! There. Where am I? Him, too, seeming almost vulnerable for a brief moment. Where do you think we are? 2. Things are back to normal. 2? Wait, what? Miguel had been holding up 2 fingers as she spoke. And Kid had completely ignored his actual question and counted them instead. The unspoken understanding they shared was beyond me. It still is. And as an aside, the actual answers to Miguel's question was the corridor on the first floor, near the terrace we can't get to. He suggested we head back towards the magical circle we found earlier as soon as Kid regained her composure. We set off for the Great Chamber right away. Magic Circle resembles something I once saw long ago, muttered McGill under his breath, along with something about finding a way. And what if you can't find a way? Asked Kid casually, as if she'd never lost consciousness at all. I was relieved that she seemed to be okay, more than okay, in fact. Chipper, even. Then I fear we will spend the rest of our lives in this manner. Well, that sucks. Fortunately, without food, the rest of our lives will only be about a week. That didn't exactly fill me with relief. On another topic entirely, he then plunged out of nowhere into some protracted pondering about the fact that the robes the ghostly girl had been wearing were very distinctive. If I didn't know better, I've sworn he'd noticed that he brought the nude down and changed subjects to try to cheer me up. There are nun robes from the Temple of the Four. Kid's mood, however, seemed to darken the moment the girl was mentioned. Oh yeah, isn't that where you grew up? Oh wait, that's McGill asking. Oh yeah, isn't that where you grew up? McGill had told me about it a while back. Apparently a nun from the Temple of the Four had taken Kid in and some other abandoned children. Wait, so is that supposed to be Luca, not Felicia? Wait. The woman had a similar child to herself, and Kid had grown very attached to her as a result. But when Kid was still quite young, the Lord of Manor, or Lord of that region, Lynx, had summoned a nun to his manor, and she never returned. Soon afterwards, she had snuck out of the temple and tried to make her way to Lynx's manor to find her friend. But she was still only a child and couldn't make it far. She returned home to find a temple and a village that surrounded us in ruins and everybody dead. Lucky for her, McGill was a frequent visitor to the temple and arrived not long after. He found Kid surrounded by bodies that had already been shoveled and dried up like mummies. There she sat silently, glaring at the direction of Lynx's manor, her lips tightly sealed. And they stayed sealed. It was years before Kid spoke again, and according to McGill, she hadn't shed a single tear since. Here goes. His voice snapped back into the moment. Her hand was on the door, ready to push it open. I didn't realize that we were already back in the Great Chamber. Freak. This time it's going to make I had expected to made the eerie noise I had first expected to swung opening, scraping on my already taut nerves. I can still save, so there's still a lot more to go. We headed straight for the pipe organ. I pressed the same keys on the keyboard as before. For a moment, I thought the contraption might not work a second time. But I needed to worry. I worried. The stairs to the hall below appeared just as they had the last time. But this time, the place they led us to looked very different. Before it had been too dark to see. This time it was the brightest day. Someone's there. Welcome coming, eh? Just what we need. Nothing was visible on Kiz and McGill's face. Mine, on the other hand, probably looked outright terrified. Well, can't keep them waiting. Kiz spurred us back into the moment. We had no choice but to press on. It was completely different down there from how it had been before. The room was filled with light. The presence we had felt before was alive now, and a swirling spectral energy filled the room. In response, the outline of the magic circle on the floor pulsed with a powerful garnet red light, welcoming our arrival in an almost palpable sense of glee. Right. Checking if I can't save anymore, that means it's near the end. Under less ominous circumstances, one might even have described the scene as beautiful, if one had been prepared to ignore the very disturbing sight at the center of it. During the middle of the storm, we saw him. That Lynx? Wait, is he still alive then? Lynx. He gave an conscious growl, teeth clenched behind her perfect pink lips. I never laid eyes on him before, but I knew it was him the moment I saw him. This was, without a doubt, the form that Solo's desiccated corpse had taken into life. This was the man behind it all, and we were finally face to face with him. Brrr. This time, Kid's growl was stronger and more deliberate. She seemed almost scared before, but every trace of her fear had vanished. Now it was hatred that governed her, overriding all other emotions. I wonder if she might even be feeling some kind of mad delight. It preserved insane glee at finally gaining her chance for revenge. For his part, despite being faced with his mortal foe, assuming he shared his sense of enmity, Link spoke in a calm, soft voice, almost as gentle as a whisper. Return the frozen flame to me. If you would be so kind, you are carrying my very soul. You think I'm gonna hand it over because you asked nicely? Why would I go to all the trouble of nicking it if I was gonna give it up that easily? His visible agitation stood in stark contrast to Link's cold composure. He had taken the frozen flame from her pocket and was gripping it tightly in her hand. Crimson light blazed from between her fingers. What happened to you anyway, and what the hell's going on with your mansion? He answered almost sorrowfully. As I am sure you have seen, my physical body perished in a scuffle with an assassin. Thankfully, by employing an ancient rite, I was able to preserve my soul in the form of a jewel. Alas, the price I paid was to take a form incapable of traveling beyond the confines of this magical circle. The powers are lost to me. Please, at least return my soul. Alas, indeed, Linksy boy. But if you think I'm gonna take pity on you after everything you've done, you're nuts as well as evil. Its almond eyes narrowed. Oh, she has almond eyes instead of blue eyes. Okay, cool. And her voice quivered in rage. You think dying once is enough to pay for your crimes? Your suffering only just beginning. He pulled an arm, pulling the frozen flame back like an archer prepared to loose an arrow. No one's ever gonna pity you, you bastard. You don't deserve pity. He twisted, throwing all her strength into the huge swing, and brought the jewel hurling down toward the unyielding stone floor. Wait, kid, no! She froze where she stood. Another voice had joined McGill as she cried out. Ugh, you little wretch! Link seemed to be warped and bent. Another figure appeared in his place. It was the girl. The same girl who had gazed at us so pleadingly from the window when we first entered the manor. Kid, smashing a jewel, losing yourself in your rage, is exactly what Lynx wants. If you lose yourself entirely, he will consume your soul, just as he did mine. You will become another stepping stone on his road to resurrection. Kid, the circle, I know now where I've seen it before. It's a soul hex. It consumes the soul of any with with whom it comes into contact and uses them to break the ties that bind an imprisoned spirit, restoring it to life. Miguel, usually so calm and collected, couldn't keep the horror out of his voice. Consuming souls? Suddenly it all came together in my mind. The fact that the manor was deserted, that once we grabbed the frozen flame, we'd been unable to leave. The ghost we'd encountered had fled in fear of being consumed by it, and that it had been so easy to acquire the jewel in the first place. It could only mean the entire manor was a trap. We've been lured in with. Oh, he's going too fast now. Felicia, just as I come to my realization, a voice spoke the name, a name I've never heard of before. Felicia, I came for you. I finally made it. It was Kid. I never heard Kid speak so plaintively before. It sounded almost like a child calling to her mother. And I remembered who Felicia was. She was the nun who had looked after Kid, the only person she'd ever been close to. Sister Felicia. Felicia, Kid. Sweet little kid, how you've grown. You wretch. Link's face, contorted with agony, emerged from Felicia's chest and then disappeared again. I'm grateful you came for me, Kid, but I cannot come home. You must flee this place while I can still contain him. No, I won't leave you here. I finally found you. You have to come home. You have to. You always were too willful one. Don't smile across Felicia's face for a moment. I cannot leave. I must atone for my father's sins. What, father? Wait, what? He knew that they were coming for him, that his life was in danger, and so he made certain preparations. She was struggling to speak. Her efforts to overcome Link's control was truly testing her. He conjured up the axe you see before you, a curse that consumes the soul of others in order that a departed soul can be returned to life. But in order to create it, he needed the soul of a blood relative, his daughter. Forgive me, I could not tell you. I could not tell anyone. This monster was my father. I was born out of wedlock to a woman of no standing, but he was my father nonetheless. His eyes opened wide with shock. The moment the assassin slew him, his soul consumed mine in order to trigger the creation of the frozen flame, which set about consuming the soul of everyone in the manor. But this is the harvest of souls would not suffice to bring him back. Or even this harvest of souls would not suffice to bring him back. Soon he had consumed those of all in his domain, and yet he still hungered. Still, this was not enough to bring about his resurrection. They decided to use a jewel that contained his soul as a lure to bring unsuspecting thieves to the manor. I must atone for my part in these horrible crimes. Kid didn't say a word. There was nothing she could say. Neither could I. I barely have the strength to contain him. You must leave this place. Dear sweet little kid, my little girl. Felicia! Link still lacks the soul he needs to complete. Oh wait, that's McGill probably talking. Felicia, Link still lacks the souls he needs to complete his resurrection, correct? McGill's booming voice broke the silence. I turned to see what he had been working on. I guess you'd call it a rewriting part of this magic circle. Felicia gave him a questioning look for a moment, which then gave way to a strangely peaceful smile. Thank you, McGill. It seems I am indebted to you once more. For the first time since I've known him, I saw him smile. Perhaps we'll meet again one day. Many years from now, if I'm lucky. You can repay me then. Now then, Surge. I've become to feel like something of a fifth wheel by this point. I jump with a surprise at hearing my name. I want to force the soul hex into action. We'll force Link's soul back into his body, as ill-prepared and decaying as it is. Surge, I need you to... You can't do this. If we go through this, Felicia's gonna... Kid has suddenly come to. I'll need you to keep Kid away so that she doesn't interfere. Oh, I see. Revive him to the decaying body, and then he's just gonna die naturally. I don't quite remember what happened next. Wait, how does that work? If he's gonna revive, how will he revive fully if he had enough souls? Like, how was his body revived then? There was a shine of the magic circle's light, a swiftly ball scream from Link's. McGill's towering frame making signals in the air. Felicia's smile, and Kid's tears. When I came to, I was laying on the floor holding Kid. Her eyes were red from crying. Our clothes were torn in places, and we were both covered in cuts and scratches. Miguel was unconscious on the other side of the room, his energy completely spent, and on the floor there was nothing. Not even a trace left. Eventually the moon rose again, and I stayed sitting on the floor, my mind blank, until McGill and Kid finally returned to consciousness. I guess there was nothing else we could do in the end. I didn't say it to anyone in particular, and sure enough, neither of them replied. As we walked side by side through the forest, I turned back for one last look. This time there was a gentle quiet surrounding the manor. True peace at last. The frozen flame, which Kit had held on to so tightly, vanished, leaving only an important imprint in her hand. Or leaving only an imprint in her hand. Okay, that's... Man, yeah, these scenarios are a lot longer than I was expecting, so I still have 2 more to go. Okay, let's see what it says. Is it going to mention Felicia then? So ends another tale. Perhaps one day I'll see Kid, McGill, and Felicia. Okay, so it says say Felicia again. One day. Somewhere at another time, another world. Perhaps none of us will even realize it. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna read up the next scenario to see what I'm supposed to do. This one, from what I read, was a little bit more complicated, so I need to look up instructions really quick. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's see, so I need to sleep, follow Kid, go to the storeroom, go try to the treasure vault door, go to Lynx's quarters, ask about the mirror, or ask the mirror for the vault key, go to the study, retrieve the key, go to Lynx's okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Can't wait till I finish all the scenarios. I mean, I am enjoying the story here, but it is not my type of game that I would prefer to play. You know, I would prefer to play the actual RPG, the Chrono Cross, which I will continue, which I will start once I finish this, probably tomorrow or maybe Sunday. Who knows? But I do want to finish this first because, you know, this game is what was the basis of Chrono Cross. Like, you see a lot of connections between it already. You know, you have Surge and Kid. I mean, Surge obviously not a musician in the original game, but you know, Kid being like very set on her revenge and all that. Her revenge, you know, for Lynx killing her family essentially, or yeah, family, you know what I mean. You have the fact that you have the Masamune and Lanzer connection. You have McGill pretty much being would he be like harsh? Or But yeah, you know how like Riddle, Riddle being like not engaged, but like there being another man, or whatever like that. Um, there's the whole Masamune causing like Riddle Masamune and Master Mune. All right, so I'm gonna go do scenario 6. Felicia's light. So yeah, so let me check something. Felicia Chrono might be just me missing. Nope. Okay, I thought it might be like a Chrono Trigger reference, or something like that, which is why they may have changed the name. Well, not exactly changed the name, but I guess it was intended. Oh, does not load up the wrong save again. All right, so I need to sleep, follow kid, enter the storeroom. Okay. Thank goodness for this person who actually wrote out instructions how to get this. Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out if there's a music thing. But it doesn't seem like there is. Okay, so I slept, followed kid, entered the storeroom. Alright, this time I believe it was going left. Nope, turn back. Following the corridor, here we go. We open the door, and we go. Right, this is the storeroom. Gonna be different. Which is the place is not public earth, blah blah. It was large, yeah. Okay. It looks like this is gonna be the same as before, so I'm just gonna click through it. It doesn't change until this second time. Okay. It looks like I can just click through that. Great. Right down the court, alright. Okay. There we go. Go to Lynx's quarters. Alright. Oops, did not mean to go upstairs. A skeleton, oh no. Tackle, catch, and then slam to the floor. Alright, is the text gonna be different or still gonna be the same until I get to the split? Please everybody seem to be around. Had the buggers come out, scared her, so oh, that's still the same. Blah blah. I found some stone. You caught my eye. There was this pedal still on one corner. No, that's still the same. What is your desire? You're speaking with Gilbert inside. There's no need for panic. That's where it probably save. Yeah. I don't want to do this. I'm not gonna lie. Let's do it. I want to know Kid's measurements. I blurted out. The wind was immediately knocked out of me by one of Kid's trademark kicks. Look, the mirror is showing us something, muttered McGill thoughtfully, pointing at it. Gail, who was sitting on my back and bashing my head into the ground, stopped what she was doing and glanced in the mirror. I looked up. Watery ripples flowed from the center of the glass, and then a series of numbers began to float up from below. 5275? While I was reading the numbers, Kid smashed her hand into my face. Who told you to look, creep? I had no idea what the figures even meant, though. Kid seemed confused as well. It was up to McGill to explain it in his usual deadpan manner. Her height, shoe size, and ring size. Was that it? I felt so cheated. Wait, that's not what I meant, I started, but the mirror had fallen silent and didn't seem to be listening anymore. The spirit of the mirror appeared to have moved on, muttered McGill. Really? Huh, what a waste, I grumbled. Kid stared at me. Well, now you know me measurements. You won't have any trouble finding me a new nice find me some nice new clothes, a pair of boots, and a pretty ring to say sorry when we get out of here, eh? You owe me, and you better not forget it. I'd really have gone and dropped myself in it this time. Anyway, Mirror, something we're not done here. Okay, nope. Okay, obviously, I just want to do it for the fun, for the lulz, because you know why not. Okay. Oh, I might as well do the book thing. Beware, he knows. Continue on our way. Go to the study. Okay. All right. I think this is a wild encounter. That song does not say anything. Yeah. Looks like a study. The room was blah blah. Only coming out of the darkness. It was pretty big for a study, with immaculate antique desk dominating the center. There were rows of bookshelves lined with thick, dusty old tomes. The wall to the rear of the room was decorated with paintings, and the shelves of vases and painted plates stood before it. They all seemed to have curios from foreign lands. Right, let's find this key. On her feet, as always, Kid moved into the center of the room. Where did Mira say it was again, Serge? She was asking me? How was I supposed to remember? Okay, hold up. I need to save. Because I want to do the blue cover fun. I can't save. Ah. I'll take damage. I'm pretty sure it was the book with the blue cover in the nearest bookcase. Let's see. First memory a kid made for the nearest set of books. Alright. We're looking for a blue book. Found it. He picked out a book from the top shelf. Miguel and I watched as she flicked through the pages. Her right eye narrowed like a cat as she read through the arcane script, which meant nothing to me. Let's see here. The day of my wedding to the king has finally come. My heart grieves, but I must go. If only I could have been yours forevermore. Tremendous tears welled up in the young elephant's eyes as she spoke. The love and tenderness that filled her heart made the pain of their parting all the more bitter. It felt as if it would tear into two. Tears began to trouble and trailed off. She went quiet and looked at her. I could see tears welling up in her eyes. She noticed me looking at her and slammed the book shut with a start and looked away. Wipe the smirk off your face, Serge. Where's the real book? Okay. This one? Hmm. I think it was supposed to be the one with a blue cover in the first bookcase. Alright, let's see. It seems to say right, this one. Blue cover, blue cover. Ah, this gotta be it. Covered from the lower shelf. Miguel and I watched the page. I narrowed blah. Okay, let's see here. And to her touch, her breath quickened. She gazed into his eyes as he grabbed her hand. Sparks flew wherever he touched her, and as soon as she was overwhelmed, yes! Kid had a face like thunder, and her cheeks were becoming more and more red. Hey, Serge, think fast! Her fist lashed out toward me like a whip. Crunch, my head was filled with exploding stars. Stop bugging about, Serge. Where's the damn book? I'm trying my best here. Feeling pressure, I racked my brain to remember what the bear told us. Okay. Okay, that wasn't as funny as the guide was saying. Maybe they just changed the options, and maybe it's one of the other different options now. Okay, we'll move on. Purple book. Maybe one to purple go into first. Okay, so, alright, let's see. Give me to take my word for a kid, make for the case question. Right, this one here. Purple book cover. She opened it, the page, haul it out, and yep, there you go. Nailed it. Next one, Surge. His natural team from blah. Right, time to find get a look at the treasure, having what we came for, left for the study. Okay. Now I go to Lynx's quarters again. Down the stairs. Touch to the right. Oh my god, not a random encounter again. Tackle. Hatch slams to the floor. Alright, so this is where the split happens, so it should be different. I hope. Still, nobody home. It didn't matter how many times we came here. I was never going to be able to shake the sense of unease this place gave me. I would try speaking to the mirror again. Kid and McGill both nodded away. I pulled the scarlet cloth away. There was already an image floating on the mirror's surface. That's this room, isn't it? McGill stared intently around at the walls. That one. He set about examining the wall he'd been pointing at. But no matter how much we patted, tapped, and prodded, we couldn't get any part of it to budge. I don't understand, said McGill, crossing his arms in thought. Kid, meanwhile, was kicking the wall ferociously. Her patience clearly had gone to the better of her. She had a tendency to resort to brute force when she didn't have any better idea how to solve a problem. 9 times out of 10, this only served to make the problem even worse. Leave the poor wall alone, kid. Beating it up isn't going to help. She glanced around sulkily, her eyes coming to a rest on a quill pen. Fine, I'll tickle it instead. She grabbed the pen and started lightly brushing the feathery end against the wall of the surface, against the surface of the wall. As soon as she did, the seemingly solid brick wall began to bulge and bend violently. It was shocked as anyone, jumping back and shouted, "What the hell?" A little stifled laugh reverted throughout the room. Wait, the wall is laughing? Let's see now. He tiptoed towards it again, feather outstretched, and tickled it ever so gently. And sure enough, it bent and buckled again, seemingly desperate to escape the torture. As it did so, the blocks ground against one another, and a sizable hole opened in a corner, with a shower of sandy dust. The wall had fallen away, leaving a gap just about big enough for a person to pass through. Well, that's one way to hide a doorway, said Kid, kicking through. We went through the newly revealed opening. We stepped cautiously through the opening into the space beyond. They're not exactly feature-filled as rooms go, eh? It wasn't wrong. The place was completely bare. There's literally nothing here. There was no furniture, no fixture of any kind, not even a window. It was spacious, but as devoid of ornament as a prison cell. That is, except for the large stone slab in the center. What do we have here? Kid muttered, bending down toward the stone as if something had caught her attention. I went over to see what she was looking at. What is it, kid? I walked over to the center of the room to get a closer look. As I approached, I saw that there was some kind of crystal embedded in the middle of the slab. I stepped up next to the kid to get a better view. What do you make of it, kid? I reckon it must have been Must have something to do with these symbols carved on all over the stone. Shame I can't read the bloody things. Examined the crystal. The crystal was embedded in the center of slab. It was spherical, and only the top half of it was visible. The rest of it was embedded into the slab's surface. The slab itself was engraved with a healer's marking of kind I've never seen before, and the area surrounding the crystal featured more engraved symbols in a circle. That's a beautiful crystal. Yeah, look at the size of it. And nothing glitters like that if it ain't worth a pretty penny. Could be well worth nicking. Having realized this, she reached out her hand out toward it. As she touched it, almost glowed for a brief moment, and then everything went white. Whoa. We opened our eyes to find ourselves in an arena? What the? Don't ask me, mate. I'm as clueless as you are for once. Kid was clearly no less surprised than me. But seriously, what exactly was going on? Wherever we were, only she and I had made it there. Where's McGill? Beats me. I haven't got a bloody clue what's going on here, unless we got, I don't know, magic away somewhere? Or when you say magic, well, like, there might have been a spell that magics whatever on top of that slab or somewhere else when you touch a crystal thingy. Which would explain why Mag didn't make it along for the ride. Yeah, that makes sense. So no Mag, huh? Great so. So where are we? Beats me. Looks like some kind of coliseum, but I'm pretty sure it was in the middle of the day when we left. Something tells me we ain't in the real world. What? What do you mean? I mean it's an illusion, you drongo. None of this is real, but at the same time it sort of is real. Whoever set this up must be one heck of an illusionist. Just a moment, a self-satisfied chuckle floated to us. Who's there? Who's there? Show yourself. I shouted loud enough that you could hear me all the way over on the other side of the arena. But my challenge was met with silence. We looked around, and then a figure appeared in the entrance tunnel on the opposite side from us. Who the heck are you? It was Kid's turn to shout. I bid you welcome to the Coliseum. The figure's voice rang across the space between us. I ran toward whoever it was. Tried to run toward the figure, but I couldn't move a muscle. It looked like the kid couldn't move either. Please, you do not need to be feel flustered. I ask only that you hear me out. But first, an introduction. I am Ganju, Master of the Mysteries. And this, as you correctly surmised, my dear, is a place of illusions. So saying, he proceeded to levitate, floating at around a head height above the ground. The Colosseum, as you may have guessed, is a battleground. Only those who emerge victorious are able to return to the world from whence they came. Wait, what? And on this momentous occasion, friends, the illusionist pointed the kid then at me, you will be fighting one another. Only the victor will be permitted to return to the mortal realm. Well, any questions? Me? Fight Kid? I have to fight Kid? Yes, you must. Wait. You listen to me, you old man. I've been nice and patient while you spouted rubbish, but now it's my turn to talk. Why don't I have to fight Surge? Why don't we just kick the stuffing out of you and find our own way out? For one, you can, and it would be meaningless to try. I've been searching for someone truly mighty. For what? Not to battle. You must not keep your audience waiting any longer. As soon as he said this, the stands, which I would have sworn were empty a moment earlier, erupted with a deafening roar. Rah! But you're hardly dressed for an occasion, either of you. Let's see now. And suddenly we had both changed clothes. The greatest showdown of our times awaits. Surge, the gladiator's gladiator, versus Kid, the walking weapon. Let the games commence. And with that, we vanished. What the bloody hell's... It suddenly erupted with a bright white glow. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. The light bathed her entire body as it grew in an instant to an enormous size. Wait, what the fuck? When the light finally subsided, a giant, heavily muscled Cyclops stood where Kid had only moments. Bleh. I looked down to see his sword that appeared in my right hand and a shield in my left, and that I was really dressed like a gladiator. I suddenly felt my body suffused with enormous strength. Our competitor's preparations are complete. The illusionist's voice rang out over the roars of a crowd. Now fight. Kid, well, the Cyclops, squared me with a single massive eye. I stood and fought. I tried lifting the sword I held in my right hand. What the? I feel so strong. Normally I wouldn't have been able to handle a sword like this with two hands, let alone one. But here I was, able to swing it as easily as I could wield a knife. I charged into battle, leaping at the giant's feet. I swung my sword at exposed big toe. Grrrah! It gave a great cry of pain. I stood and fought. Giant's fist plummeted down from overhead like a meteorite. Long. A dull shock shot through my left arm. I managed to catch a punch in time with my shield. My feet slid along the ground, leaving small mounds of sand behind them. But my shield and my body stood fast against the blow. Well, when did I get so strong? Power was welling within me. I gave this outstretched arm a good slide to my sword, just because I could. I stood and fought. I compressed my body like a spring, building up strength, and leapt up with all my might. I couldn't believe it. I was flying through the air just like McGill. No, better than McGill. Woohoo! Here I come! An awesome power welled up inside me, and with it, a sense of satisfaction, almost joy. I plunged my sword into the giant's shoulder, bringing the full power of my rippling muscles to bear. Its legs buckled and it collapsed to its knees in pain. I stood and fought. I ran toward the giant and then leapt at it to get in close. Okay. His chest was wide open and I swung my blade with all the might I could muster. Whoosh. His sword left a gaping wound in his wake. I was completely overwhelming the Cyclops. The monster was covered in cuts and lacerations. I was struggling and could barely stand, panting heavily as it crashed on the ground, holding itself up in one shaking hand. I'm winning! I stood and fought. I threw my shield to the ground and took my sword in both hands. I was so powerful, this newfound strength was intoxicating. The giant was reeling from my onslaught. I was going to win. I was going to be an actual Cyclops. Me! I tightened my grip. As I did, even more power welled up inside me. I prepared to make the most of this final surge of strength. I jumped up high, holding my sword aloft to deal the final blow. Let me flick away my blade before I could stab the giant in the eye. There's no way it could have been parried like that. Who was interfering? I looked up. McGill! There he was, holding a long curved sword. What are you doing? What are you doing? Have you forgotten that this kid? I started blinking at McGill. Thank you, Mag. Thanks, Mag. McGill braced himself for battle. All was quiet as he stared down the creature. Suddenly all the life faded from the Cyclops' eye. Thud. The ground shook as his massive body fell to the ground. Huh? And when Ganju's voice floated to us out of nowhere, it seems no one else has joined us here. Very well, very well. I had been wondering if it might be time to bring proceedings to an end. And then there he was in front of us again. Now, beloved patrons of the Colosseum, lift up your voices in appreciation of the stunning spectacle these brave warriors have blessed us with today. Yeah! An enormous roar went up in the stalls, though I still had the odd feeling that they were entirely empty. Now then, as he said this, the great Cyclops' body began to glow a brilliant white. It was so bright I could barely see, and when the light was faded, Kid was laying there in front of us. The wounds I inflicted were gone. I breathed a sigh of relief. My wounds were mostly healed, and I returned to my usual appearance. I did enjoy every moment of that, truly. The showdown between the gladiator and the walking weapon was every bit as electrifying as I imagined. But I must confess that Surge did not seem to possess the fortitude I have been seeking. Perhaps the strength I bestowed him was too great a responsibility to bear. Roger looked towards McGill. That said, you are truly an intriguing little band of rogues. Now let us return you to your own world, all three of you. And as soon as the words had passed, Ganju's lips, everything went a brilliant white once more. When the light subsided, we looked around to see that we were back in the secret chamber behind Lincoln's room. What the hell just happened? Who knows? I felt like just woken up after a big night at the Laughing Pig. Kid was coming around. Hey, kid, are you alright? Kid, how are you feeling? What the hell happened? Did I just have the weirdest dream of my life? She soon recovered her composure and began looking around the room. Kid, what's wrong? The bloody crystal's gone. That's what's wrong. He was right. The crystal that had been embedded in the slab had vanished. Well, where is it bloody gone? Don't ask me. Well, that's just bloody lovely, ain't it? Nothing to show after all that trouble. She stood up with a dejected sigh. Well, that was a bust. Let's get out of here. We followed her out of the room. I wonder if she even remembered what had happened in the illusionary arena. Okay, wait, what was this to do? Okay, so it looks like this will finish the game as normal. We joined the kid back in Elisa's room. As soon as we had all stepped back through the hole in the wall, the pile of sand stirred to life, as if it had been waiting for our return and flowed back to filling the cavity. It settled into place apart, and to look at it, you'd think it was the same solid wall that had greeted us when we first entered. When Kid wrapped her knuckles on the place where the hole had been, all she got of her efforts was a cold, dead thud. He shrugged. Well, looks like we're about done here, boys, shall we? And with that, we left Link's room behind us. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save. Okay, so it looks like I have to finish the game as normal now. Okay, so I need to open up a treasure vault. If I have to finish it normally, that means I have to go to the torture chamber then. Escape, and then I'll open the treasure vault. Wait, what? Did I click too fast? Oh, I did click too fast. Okay. Okay, I need to make sure I choose the right option. Alright, now I can open it. I'm gonna not actually try saving it. Because I don't think my relationship with Kid matters at this point. Oh, darn it. I did not mean to click that. Oh well. Too late. That was close. Okay, now I go to Atrium. Okay, am I miss? I feel like I'm forgetting something. They could have made a fast forward. Come on, this is so much clicking. Okay. Darn it! Okay, so let's see. Um, my God, I can't believe you have to complete the whole thing. Hopefully, scenario 7 is not like this. Please tell me scenario 7 is not like this. Here's our offer. Give us a key and you get to live. I said to try to sound as sorry as I could. If you kill me, you'll never find out where it is. Why you could spend all night looking and never find it. It was clear from his answer that he wasn't usually intimidated. I guess when it came to looking tough and talking tougher, I was no match for Kid. I showed him my secret photograph of Kid. It's sidled around to Griswold and pulled out the photograph with an artful flick. How about a trade? I whispered in his ear. I'm sorry, I must decline your offer. This treasure would clearly bring more trouble than enjoyment. It was clear he wasn't going to go for it. Besides, it is not material gains I seek. What then? What do you want? You like to know what I want? I want your heads. Griswold, hold on. Rather, I'm sure that what my employer could have said. What have you say? Okay, this is the same. He's out hunting for bugs. He caught it plenty of gold and I sold it. And show me whatever it was you were whispering about earlier. Kid shoved her hand into my pocket and yanked out the photograph. My life was over. Surge? He ripped up the photograph to pieces and then glared at me. Her upper lip was curled in a vicious sneer, and I saw teeth that almost looked like fangs. For a moment, I was reminded of Wildcats from earlier. Eep, Mag, save me! Realizing I was in mortal peril, I begged McGill for help. No reply was forthcoming. Thump, crunch, crack, pow. Whack, bang, blam, shock. Not the face. Kabow, clonk, snap, dip. Oh, my spleen! Crash, rib, splat, kerthwack. Somehow I still seem to be alive after all that. Gore. He gave me my broken body one last kick and made for the door. We're leaving! McGill peeled off to the floor. Oh, don't forget this, said Grismel before we hurried off to catch up with the kid. A key, as promised. I took it from Grismel's hand. We left the room, the goblins, unscrutable countenance, following us as we went. Okay, that was funny. Okay, see, this is where I'm unsure of if I need to actually do the Griffin fight. Because it's supposed to technically, it's an in-game way of teaching you how to, you know, pass through the barrier thing. I'm not sure if that's required or not to actually give you the options. But just in case I'm gonna do it, plus I'll recover health after, you know, kid punch me. I freed the mouse. Okay. And then I need to duck, if I remember correctly. Okay, there we go. Go up the stairs and we go to the catacombs, right? Okay, after that, I think I talked to Riddle afterwards, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Oh wait, is this person supposed to be Radius? Is the ultimate based off Radius? I think so. I think yeah. That would be my guess at least. It looks like him. He has a bald head and a beard. Oh yeah, don't say anything. I remember that. So go to Riddle. Riddle's going to tell me about the ring. Get Onslaughter to get to the torture room to get the ring. Go back here. He'll tell me about the secret passage. Go to the secret passage, and then okay, now I remember. Cool. God damn it! Wait to see what it would do. Okay, so I'm a little bit injured. It should be fine though. Right towards the atrium. Okay, this is pretty much the same as well. I'm assuming. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure everything until I get to the end is gonna be the same. That's everything I've been reading so far. So I'm just gonna be like clicking through everything. towards the atrium, right? Oops, I meant to attack it. Frick. That was my bad. Should still be fine. That's not good. Oh, I need to be careful for the selection here. For, here as well as in the torture chamber. Alright, let's not screw this up again. Attack, there we go. That was what you're supposed to do. Man, I'm getting a lot of counters in this scenario. Wait, you can plunge the sword into Kid? What? And she probably would have dodged it, and then I would probably have died. Okay, after this fight, I need to save. Like, I'm getting way too many counters. I'm like scared I'm gonna die. Oh, nice. Okay, that's gonna help a bit. Okay, never mind. I'm good. Looks like I'm good now. Sweet. I will still save though. Alright. So I don't know when the split happens, but it should be happening soon. Ish. Okay, might as well choose the other option, see what it says. We'll win, I promise. There's nothing to worry about. We'll win in the end, I promise. Drongo. Can't promise anything in this world, Surge. There are no guarantees, but thanks anyways. Okay. Wait. Looks like this is different. She knows immediately, of course. In our little moments of return to catch flies, sorry, it's just for a moment. It felt like you were someone else. What are you on about? Oh no, no, must be because we're drawing near the frozen flame. McGill's voice soft ever slipped unbidden from the shadows. What are you two on about? Turn towards him with another. There's another self within you, struggling against the pull of the abyss. But what had she been talking about? A crash blade. Okay, scourge. Okay. Right thrice, left twice, right twice. Oh, is the choices a randomized order? Is that why the matchup was like some of the stuff I was reading? Maybe, okay. Maybe that's why. It's like some of the like guys was seeing like it's like so or videos I was watching. It's like their choices were different, but the wording like because the wording was different. There you go. This is where the split happens. Initiate Mecha Link's launch protocol. Wait, I just realized something. I really wish they could have made Mecha Links a thing in Chrono Cross. That would be cool. What the? At Link's command, a great hole began to open up in the floor between us. What looked like an enormous Lynx rose slowly from beneath. What the hell is that? The massive mechanoid launched into action, smashing into the ceiling with its huge bulk. The entire roof collapsed and a great shower of rubble fell, revealing the full moon above us, hanging in the star-specked night sky. Whoa, what? No one told me about this bloody thing. The appearance of the robot had wrong-footed us all quite spectacularly. We turned and ran. We need to withdraw and figure out some kind of strategy. Begging your pardon, a small voice piped up from behind us. We jumped with a start and turned around. What the? There was a crystal floating in the air, emitting a bright light. It's me. I had a feeling things might get interesting, so I decided to follow you. Ganju, murmured McGill. What the blood hell do you want? I thought I might be able to help you. I do owe you a favor for liberating me from that room, after all. And I owe Winks a favor for trapping me there in the first place. Alright, and how are floating crystals supposed to help us? I'm glad you asked. I hereby trust you with the mighty Paradius. Paradius? And by the way, none of you will need to transform this time. Wait, what? Before I could finish, the crystal shone with a blazing light, forcing me to shut my eyes. Wait, is this going to turn into a mech fight? But when the light finally abated, I saw a giant creature standing between us and the mecha Lynx. What the hell is that? The kid was shocked by the new arrival. Whatever it is, I guess it's on our side. Now things are getting interesting. The kid quickly sized up the two massive beings. Oh my god. So it's Paratus versus Mecha Lynx. Lynx had grabbed the frozen flame and clambered inside of his mechanical namesake. Testing. Is this thing on? You expect to defeat me with that big begotten wretch. Mecha Lynx will crush you. Mecha Lynx will crush you all. Dream on, mate. Your middle mate there will be good for nothing but scrap heap by the time Paratus is done with it, or done with you. The two companions faced off against one another, the moonlight glinting off their vast forms. Prepare to die, Paratus. Not likely. Eat monster fist, you mecha moron. Plowy. The giants crashed together and the battle had begun. Oh, it is. Power Punch! Go, Paradius! Use Power Punch! Mars responded instantly to my command and swung at the mech with an enormous right hook. The punch connected perfectly, resulting in a huge explosion. But the Clapper had hurt his hand. Killer Kick! Paradius swung its leg like a club, smashing into Mecha Link with an earth-shaking force. Clunk! Roar! The cyclone's roar of agony filled the moonlit sky. Mecha Link barely seemed to have felt the blow. Witness the immovable might of Mecha Lynx. Damn it, how's that thing still standing? Come on, Paradius. Don't feel us now. Invade. You need to be careful, Paradius. Whoosh. Mecha Link fired off a huge rocket punch. Watch out, Paradius. Paradius? Damn it. He heard me just in time and dodged the blow by a hair's breadth. Oh man, is this like a Pokemon mecha battle right now? But these rocket punches were just as dangerous on the return journey as this one was making a beeline for Paradius from behind. Whoosh, whoom. Ross, behind you, but I was too late this time. Badoosh. I slammed with a full force to Paradius' belly. This Mecha Link ain't messing around. Power Punch! Punch! Paradius let loose with its left. Sniff. Now it had its left hand too. Killer Kick! The giant launched a low click with his left leg. Great idea, Paradius. Still need to get things off his feet. Think. Mecha Lynx hadn't even flinched. And Paradius' leg was now bent at a sickening angle. Screw this. This thing's tough as all hell. Kid sounded almost impressed. Invade! You have to get out of the way, Paradius! Punch opened up and a row of missiles emerged from within. No, Paradius, get out of the way! Woohoo! They raced off one after another and flew straight toward the three of us. Look out! Bloody hell! We were done for. Huh? Renee stepped in front of us, taking missiles full in the chest. There's no way that hadn't done some serious damage. The poor creature screamed in agony. Damn you, Lynx! The fight wasn't over. Paradius beam! Truth. This Mecha Link is a serious problem. What are we gonna do, kid? What are you asking me for? You're the one telling Paradius what to do. But no, you're right. Maybe if I give this heavily injured Paradius the order to end all orders. Unleash the Paradius beam. Yes, the beam. The beam that didn't exist. What the heck, Surge? Shut up, you're not helping. While this was going on, Mecha Link had launched into the next maneuver. This time, we were really done for. It seemed to have no choice. McGill stepped forward. Hear me, Paradius. Mecha Link had initiated an attack. It was only a matter of moments now. It's time. Unleash. Raging apocalyptic inferno of extremely certain death. Raging apocalyptic inferno of extremely certain death. A huge fireball was emerging from Rodriguez's mouth. Bro. It flew towards Mecha Link. Bang. The resulting explosion blew Mecha Link to smithereens. Yes! Not bad, Mag. We had defeated the mighty Mecha Links. Thanks so much, Proteus. Yeah, nice one, big guy. That was quite the showdown. We had nothing but gratitude for our enormous friend. We're on your way, mate. We'll take it from here. Although Kid was quick to forget the social niceties as ever. There was a blinding white flash, and Proteus was gone. Right. Now to find us a jewel. She began rooting through the wreckage of Mecha Links. Do you think the Frozen Flame is still in one piece? I asked McGill. Undoubtedly. It is no ordinary gemstone. He was running around all over the place, rooting through piles of debris. Bingo! As soon as she found it, we went over to her. She was standing by the remains of the driver's seat. Lying amongst the wreckage was Link himself, or what little remained after he'd been frazzled. Yep, here we go. And with that, she plucked a jewel, crimson light still pouring out of it from somewhere in the corpse's vicinity. The frozen flame was ours at last. It was beautiful, so much so that it didn't seem possible that it could be of this world. Would you mind awfully if I had a look? The voice came from the crystal. I fear your prison may pale in comparison. So saying, McGill held the crystal out toward the frozen flame. Truly, it is wondrous. To have been able to encounter such splendor is a blessing indeed. I was right to accompany your little band. The voice seemed to be quavering with wonder. And on that note, blink, the crystal shattered. And all that remained in McGill's hand was fragments and dust. But what the heck do you think you're doing, Mag? How are we supposed to call old Parodius next time we need a hand, eh? And that thing was definitely worth a bunch, too. Honestly, I can't take you anywhere. All is as it should be. It was a familiar voice, but this time it wasn't coming from the brains of the crystal. Once the spirits inhabiting it moves on to a new crystal, the old one dies. This is as it meant. This is as it meant to be. It was coming from the frozen flame. What do you mean? When we find ourselves a new jewel to inhabit, we stone dwellers take on the attributes of our new home. Thus do we travel the world, from place to place, from gem to gem, in search of even greater power. In search of ever greater power. And there is no greater power than that of this stone. It is more wondrous than I have ever dared dream of. Or dare to dream. Perhaps you might join me here? Regardless, I now have the power to aid you by calling on even greater beings than the Cyclops. Kid Quentin actually tried to peer inside the jewel. So now you're inside this thing? Does that mean it'll be weaker because you're using up all its magic power? Thankfully, my dear, it does not. Good, because we can't have you going anywhere now that you're inside it. Break the frozen flame, mate, and I'll find a way to break your head and mark me words. Very well. And with that, the conversation was over. Kid tucked the stone into her pocket and stood to leave. Right, frozen flame bag, Link burned to the crisp. I say that's mission accomplished, wouldn't you? Indeed. Okay. Yeah, that was a long freaking scenario. Oh no, some more. What now? Excellent question. What now, kid? What you think, you pair of dongos? There's heaps of jewels still out there, ain't there? They're sitting there waiting for us to come and swipe them. Wouldn't it do for us to keep them waiting now, wouldn't it? Would it? Come on, boys, our theming days are only just beginning. Okay. Okay, so perhaps one day I'll see again this strange and terrible Parodius again. One day. Somewhere in another. Okay. All right, one more scenario, then I'm done. Okay. That's the sixth scenario. That was a really long one. I'm hoping the last one's short. It looks short. Oh, also, I just realized maybe I can't get the music test until I get to last ending. Maybe that's what's going on. All right. So let's see. I need to fall asleep, go to the study, go to the bookshelf, have McGill open the book, and it goes to the ballroom. Seems pretty simple enough. Okay, so I need to, yeah. Let's do that first. Right, right. Nope. Checked the bookshelves. I walked over to the bookshelves and examined the spines of neatly arranged volumes. The tiles I could make out consisted of ancient-seeming words that I had no way of interpreting, and most of the books seemed to be written in exotic foreign scripts. I pulled out the closest one and holding the weighty tome with both hands, I opened it, not looking for anything in particular. Strange symbols, the like of which I have never seen before, crawled and danced across the pages as if they were alive. What was this? I squinted, looking sideways, tried bringing the pages closer to my face, but I couldn't seem to make the words sit still enough to make them out. I turned to another page on the off chance there'd be something useful, but all I could find was a chaotic dance of some same odd symbols. Just looking at them made my head hurt. Hey, what do you think this is? Huh? Kid came over to my side, peered at the books. That right there, what happened when you put a cipher spell on something. Ain't gonna make out a bloody word with that in its place. Too bad, eh? He looked up and flashed me an almost conciliatory grin. You probably don't want to know what's in there anyhow. These all look like pretty nasty spellbooks to me. Wouldn't be surprised if a whole lot of them were cursed. Which means you probably want to be careful. Never know what might come flying out. The moment the words came out of her mouth, I heard dark whispers and what sounded like a distant screech coming from inside one I was holding. I slammed it shut and shoved it back into place on the shelf. McGill, meanwhile, was reaching thoughtfully at another bookshelf. He reached out for a leather-bound tome. Could this be? What you found, Mag? Anything familiar? Kid looked over. Her curiosity piqued. An ancient grimoire known as the Book of the Dead. Who would have thought I would have counted it here? He stared intently at the decaying old cover. Why not take a look inside? My curiosity got the better of me, and despite Kid's earlier warning. Let's take a look inside. Could be interesting. He seemed to be hesitate for a moment before nodding silently and carefully turning the first page. I could have sworn I heard a clunk followed by the sound of whirring clogs. The wheels of fate had been set in motion. I looked at the page McGill had opened the book to. It was bare. Hold up, is the whole thing blank? Kid sounded almost disappointed. McGill turned to another page and another. Each was as empty as the last. Oof. Talk about a letdown. What'd you say we fill it in with a few choice words of our own, boys? Before we could stop her, Kid grabbed a pen. Lynx is a bloody bastard and we'll be doing the world a favor when we finally get him. That'll do. That'll do. You sure? I could go on. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. It wasn't a loud knock, but in the bottomless silence of the night, it might have been a thunderclap. I stood upright, turned toward it. McGill, meanwhile, hid in the shadows, shifting away like smoke. I panicked. I whispered to Kid. Okay. Hide behind the door. I'm just choosing this choice as a different option, just to get new dialogue. We kept our bodies as slow as we silently and swiftly made for the back of the door, where the shadows would keep us hidden. We pressed our backs to the walls and did our best to still our breathing. Slowly the door opened. Looking at the candlelight spread from the doorway with a warm glow, I held my breath. But it seemed that whoever it was didn't mean to come in. They simply stood there. Strange. I thought I heard something, but the lord of the manor is away. Of course. Why would there be anyone in here? I have to get away. I have to get over my nerves. Everything was fine until we heard the news that Cora was on the move. The figure quietly. Okay, this is the same. Remain motionless. Blah blah. Blah blah. Blah. Okay, this isn't the same. I'm just gonna keep skipping it until I can get to the ballroom. Left of the branch. And then go to the ballroom. And then that's all it says for this scenario 7, so... Whoa. That's different. Dozens of flickering candles gave the room an eerie glow. Huge roses adorned the walls, and the floor was decorated with a beautiful floral pattern. I can't even say right now, so this looks like it's ready at the end. Dang, this is fast. What the hell? We found something else to add to the spectacle. A gathering of well-dressed ladies and gentlemen dancing a waltz in perfect silence. What the heck? Our jaws dropped and the doors swung slowly shut with a creak behind us. We tried them, but they wouldn't budge. We were locked in. Oi, what the hell is going on? Yelled Kid, raising her fist at the maid who happened to be passing by. McGill pushed her hand back to their side. They're ghosts. He pointed to the maid's feet, and I realized I could see the floor through them. The dancing gentry, the simpering ladies, all of them were little, but whisked from the knees down. Ghosts? Suddenly, everyone's turned to face us. And just as quickly, the spirits looked heavenward and vanished, silent screams contorting their ethereal features. Oh ho ho! I do hope you enjoyed our little dance. Oh, so the girlish giggle echoed around the room. Oh ho ho! I do hope you enjoyed our little dance. Okay. He looked at the crystal chandelier above us. Who's up there? Get down here now. As soon as she said that, the figure of a young woman came floating to the floor. Riddle? Who do you think you are? Kid glared suspiciously at the mysterious stranger. I am Lilith, goddess of death. Things brought me here. When I came, I claimed the body of this girl, Riddle, as my corporal vessel. Oh yeah? And what's a goddess of death doing giving us the damn time of day, eh? I came to thank you. It was you who freed me from Lynx's grasp, after all. Was it not you who inscribed his name into the Book of the Souls? Lilith looked Kid dead in the eye. Wait, you mean that Book of Death thingy Mag found? Lilith didn't answer. She just kept staring right at Kid. The room suddenly felt terribly cold. It is my duty to freeze the souls of those whose names are inscribed therein. Lilith reached into her robes and produced a crimson jewel. Witness my latest masterwork. The frozen flame. The Kid and I exclaimed in unison. One of many. Lynx's instincts certainly cannot be faulted. Of all the souls with which to imbue the gem, truly his was the one. Okay. So it's like freaking Death Note at this point. It's luster, it's hue. It is truly beautiful. A beauty, a beauty. Ironically, that such a Philistine as he could not hope to appreciate. Her eyes narrowed as she admired the stone, and a dark haze began to manifest in her right hand. It quickly took form, shaping itself into a great scythe, and then in an instant, its crescent blade had flashed through the darkness, and the frozen flame had shattered into 1,000 pieces. Thus end the cruel machinations that imprisoned me in a bottle of riddle. Lynx is dead. His soul is no more. Crushing the shards of the frozen flame underfoot, she held her left hand. Another black haze began to coalesce, this time taking the form of a book. The Book of the Dead! Lilith turned and handed it to Kid, her expression as cold as the ice. Write another name. Choose another soul for me to harvest. Things were getting seriously out of hand. What was I going to do? I snatched the book away. An image of Kid plotting world domination with Lilith as her right hand goddess flashed through her mind. Kid! I yanked the Book of the Dead from her hands. She glared at me. What do you think you're doing, Serge? Her voice was calm, but dripping with menace. I'm sorry, but I can't let you play with people's lives like this. She didn't reply. She only swung a fist at me. And then the scythe was slicing through the air, coming down right between Kid and me. Oi, you looking for a fight? Kid reached for her knife. I do not intend to force you to choose a name, and do not misunderstand me. I simply wish to repay you for freeing me. She floated back up into the air. I am a harvester of souls. I do not take sides. I am no one's to command. She was leaving, but could we really let her? Asked McGill what to do. Are we just gonna let this goddess of death do whatever she wants? I turned to McGill, but he found myself talking to no one. He must have vanished at some point. I was suddenly very afraid. Lilith, meanwhile, had stopped mid-exit. Something was holding her back, something that had a vice-like grip on her ankle. A muscular arm had reached out from the darkness. Not so fast, Lady Lilith. You are coming with me. We must return together to the realm of shadows. McGill stepped into the light, but something was off. He didn't sound like himself. Curse you, Shadow Hunter! Lilith's features twisted into a scowl as she looked down at him. The Order of Darkness must be sorely wanting of aid. Call on one such as yourself. Do they really think you are capable of capturing me? It has been centuries now since you came to this world. Your powers will surely have waned. Ha! Are you sure of that? Her scythe came down with blinding speed, and sent Kit flying through the air. I made to the run to help her, but the sight of her stopped me in my tracks. An ethereal light was pulsing from her chest. Well, McGill, if you don't hurry, your friend's soul will freeze. A vicious, self-satisfied grin slowly formed in Lilith's face. Hey, I'm the one who saved your sorry arse, remember? Roared Kid defiantly. My apologies, the situation has changed somewhat. Bloody charming, you backstabbing hotey-totey old... But Kid's anger was wasted on Lilith, who was focused solely on her conflict with McGill. He launched a fire spell only for her to deftly invade it, leaving it hurtling toward us. The ball of flames was in a collision course with Kid, but she rolled aside at the last moment, shouting at McGill that he was a cack-handed drongo who should watch where he aim his bloody spells. He retorted that he had no need to worry about what happened to Kid now that he found Lady Lilith, and that we would have to learn to look after ourselves. Kid was less than happy to hear this and flew into a rage. Another bloody backstabber. Can't trust anyone these days. And then she collapsed to the floor, clenching her chest. The light was now pouring from inside her, and it seemed like her soul would fly out of her body at any moment. But she wasn't so easily overcome. She struggled back to her feet and looked at me squarely in the eye. Can't even trust you, Serge. If I don't get out of this alive, I'm gonna haunt you good. You mark my bloody words. She never could just ask for help when she needed it. McGill and Lilith's battle had escalated even further. They zipped back and forth in front of me like two shadowy blurs. Steel clashed with fire as Lilith encountered McGill's spell with her scythe. Sparks, ember, and gallop of flames flew left and right, threatening and ran down on Kid. I threw my body over hers in an attempt to protect her. Kid, are you okay? My jaw dropped when I opened my eyes to look at her. The glow emanating from her chest had become a brilliant light, which quickly solidifying. A new frozen flame formed above her inert body, glowing in a gleaming crimson. Everything went dark, and I tried to grab Kid's hand with what little strength I could muster. Behind me, a raging inferno blazed. It is time. Wait, it is time. You will return to the realm of shadows. Lilith's body was engulfed in a cacophony of flames. No! How could I fail? Framed by the fire's light, a shadow left in the charred remains of the body she had occupied. It was a shadow in the shape of a woman. It fell to the floor and lay there motionless. McGill walked over calmly, lifted the silhouette from the floor, and stuffed it into his chest. I could hear a tear-choked voice coming from somewhere inside his body. Must I leave this world of light so soon for that place of darkness? Please, just for a moment, let me glimpse it on one last time. Forgive me, Lady Lilith. Our Lord has waited long enough already. No good will come of testing his patience further, replied McGill coldly. He moved back towards the shadows. Wait, you can't leave. You got to bring Kid back. I pulled at his arm before he could slip away. That test must fall on you. Only the warmth of your heart can thaw her soul. You must lay her heart bare. With that, he finally sank into the darkness and vanished. Or into the shadows and vanished. I held Kid's frozen soul tightly in my hands and thought over everything we'd been through together. But the more I thought, the more I remembered all the horrible situations she got me into. She was selfish, greedy, a constant troublemaker, and for all I knew, she didn't give a damn about me. But even so, I loved her. Before I knew it, I was crying. Suddenly, the palms of my hands felt hot. A fiery light erupted from within the jewel. And then the frozen flame thawed. The fire flickering exploded into a rainbow of light and melted it back into Kid's body. Her chest began to move gently up and down. She was breathing again. Kid! I only just had time to cry out her name before she threw me to the floor. What the hell are you doing, you bloody pervert? Get your filthy hands off me. Thank God you're alive. Thought you could cop a feel while I was out, did ya? He was back. After McGill returned to the realm of shadows, we never saw or heard from him again. Having lost such a perfect partner in crime, Kid soon washed her hands of thieving business. When she did, she told me she decided to try being a normal girl. I didn't believe her, of course, but I was wrong. When I next came home from plying my troubadouring trade, she was there waiting for me, and she was beautiful. I was completely lost for words. My travels resumed the next day, but I did not intend to wander far, because she promised to give me a reply to the question I had asked her once I had returned. Okay. That was a pretty happy ending. Oh, and he's by himself. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I still find it funny they did not translate this. which means to tell me that the scrolling might actually be like AMV. This whole thing might just be like not AMV, a like FMV, like cutscene, whatever, right? So they can't actually like modify the text because it's technically a cutscene. So I think that's the reason why this text still is the same. I mean, one way to confirm it is if I look at the English patch. The English patch will probably have the Japanese names only, which would probably confirm that. I feel like the English patch would probably try to convert these names, maybe, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the last scenario. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna try the music test to see if I had to do all 7 scenarios, but I'll only try it once. But yeah. Because there's, let me see. It's just like extra secret bonuses for that I wanted to try. I was trying it yesterday, but it wouldn't work. Then I kind of just realized maybe I have to finish all 7 scenarios before this comes available, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Okay. Death in the Realm of Shadow. Alright. So let's try for the music one more time and see if this works. Alright, so I need to go to... Alright. I need to go through the love scenario. It's the second scenario really quick. You go to Riddle's room, and then hopefully it gives me an option. Yeah, I'm gonna try once. I'm glad the last scenario was really short though, because I am kind of getting tired. Because holy crap, that scenario 6 drained a lot. I mean, that was like an hour and 30 minutes just for the scenario, which is almost as long as the actual story without me like talking. Okay, so I need to go to study, check the desk, see the photo, then go to Riddle's room to trigger. All right, made a mistake again. Turn back. Ah, seriously? Oh wait, that was the wrong choice. Or was it right? Oh, never mind. I guess it was the right choice. Okay. I will say though, I'm actually pretty impressed. Not, I wouldn't say impressed, but I really like how they kept the music. Like, this is like the library music or the manor music. So I like how they kind of kept the music, you know, for anyone who have played this first and then went to Chrono Cross. I feel like they would have like nostalgic feels if they enjoyed the game, of course, or even remember it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm not sure if, so I haven't played Chrono Trigger. I don't know what music may have transferred from Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross, fortunately. So really, another encounter already? Okay. Right, so I need to click through this to get like a new text, like if I had more options or something like that. Okay, still can't make any differences. Okay. Okay, no, still two options. Okay. Okay, so only two options. I didn't get another option. What the frick? I don't know. Is there no more music tests anymore for this? Is that what's happening? I don't think they would do that. That makes no sense. But also, I don't see any videos of it, so I don't know if it's legit or not. The guide says there's a music test, and I'm supposed to get like a hidden option, but I have not gotten anything of the sort. Okay. All right. So I think I found a video that has it. So let me see what happens. Okay. Yeah. No, I think I found. Okay. Okay, I'm actually gonna try one more time now that I've actually found video proof of this. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow exactly what this video does. This is on the video I'm watching is from the SNES version, so it may not be exact. I'm gonna wait till this finishes through in case something happened. I don't know. Okay, so sleep. Okay, use that option. I just realized I could have saved once. Oh, I'm stupid. I could have saved right when I got to the riddle part, because I know that's where it's supposed to be, and then try to figure it out from there. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so let's get to where I was before. I'm gonna save before entering Rill's room, and then once I do, once I get to the point where this video saves, I'm gonna save there and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I think they just completely removed it, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time I understand. Actually, no, I just don't understand. I can understand them removing a secret bonus ending. Well, I'm not sure it's a bonus ending, but I don't understand them removing the music test because there's no other option to listen to the music of this game otherwise. Oh wait, no. Oh no, that's right. That's right. Okay. So let's see here. So they did that. Or Gagger, okay. The first option, okay. I'm gonna save here just in case. Still fine. Nope. This is where it should be. It should be right here. It should be right here. So it looks like they removed the ending. The bonus stuff. That's stupid. Yeah, so there's supposed to be like a secret bonus for like Zero Wing, which I guess is like a reference to something like in the 90s, like anime, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. But it's supposed to be a secret bonus ending. But I guess you can't unlock it. Oh, it also looks like the English translation actually translated the names at the end. So either... So it looks like whoever translated... That's just stupid. Why would they remove stuff? If people don't get it, they don't get it. It doesn't matter. It's still content. It's supposed to be right here, the third option. That's just stupid. That is just absolutely annoying. I'm just gonna reload the save and see if it's screwed up or something. Yeah, see, this is not supposed to happen. Alright, well, I guess that's that. It looks like they removed the music test, so you can't listen to the music, and they removed the secret ending that you can no longer get because they removed the music test. Okay, that's pretty bad for a port. Why would you remove content for porting? That's just absolutely ridiculous. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Unless there's a new way to get the ending, which I highly doubt they would do. That's more work for them for no point or reason. Actually, it's more work for them to just remove the ending, so I don't know why they would do it in the first place. But yeah. So it looks like they only have the 7 scenarios. They removed the secret bonus ending that was in the original. So if you want the full experience, you know, get the original game and play that in one way or another and get the secret ending, because you can't get the secret ending on here anymore. I mean, it's not really even important. It's more of a like Easter egg. I guess the Easter egg ending would be more accurate, but still, it's stupid that they would remove content from the game, right? I'm like, half my guess is that the reason we removed it is because literally no one would really understand the Easter egg at all. To be fair, which I can understand that. Okay, but at the same time, it's content. It's a different ending. It's still a unique ending. I don't know why they removed it. Like, ridiculous. Like, is there trophies related to this game? I don't see a trophy system for Chrono Cross. It looks like they don't have any trophies tied to Radical Dreamer specifically. Okay, well, I think that's the end of my stream. I'm a little bit annoyed they removed the music test because I was, looking for it for like a good hour. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.